welcome to Humble Q5, man. This is Quis, of course, Quis. Not the best, though, you know what I'm saying? God is the best in everything he do. Praise his name. Let him touch you. 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 My bad. No, I'm not apologizing for praising God. You dig? I stand 10 toes, neck up high like an ostrich when it comes to the confidence I have in my Lord, my God, and his works, the faith. Keep your faith strong, y'all. Keep your faith strong. But we getting back into my testimony part 2. And last time we were speaking about it, I was talking about in the house. I was in my house and the power was out, things like that. And yeah, I was just going back and forth to school, just, you know what I'm saying, like just dealing with that. You got to view the video, though. You go to the video and you view it for yourself, though, you know what I'm saying. And let's just get straight to it. But yeah, I remember being in the house and the power was it was out, lights out. We have water. I definitely remember having water now, because I used to drink from the sink a lot. Yeah, I used to drink from the sink a lot. And I used to take Epsom salt baths. They were terrible. Not good. They don't work. I'm sorry for the ones who think they do, but to me, they don't work. You know, probably the most pointless invention in the world. One of the most. But anyways, yeah, like I just remember that. And yeah, I remember going to school probably a couple more weeks, and I just look up, probably a month or a week, but I look up, like, boom, my mom's at home. I'm just like, whoa, hello, mother. Hello, son. How are you doing? I was like, I'm good, mother. I'm good. How are you? But I ain't really ask for that. I was very avoidant with her. You know, I wanted peaches and cream when I seen her. I was upset with her, very upset, because she let a Leviathan spirit of a male, we just gonna call him Grape Juice. Grape Juice was a terrible man. It was rotten juice. He was a bad man. He was some toxic waste. The Leviathan spirit was within that grape juice. And that grape juice, it didn't smell good. Never smelled good. And every time Grape Juice spoke, Grape Juice made me very upset and even more angry. But I ain't gonna say lucky I couldn't do nothing. I was only 12, and that's a grown man. He couldn't hit. Now that's besides the point. But yeah, Grape Juice led my mom down the wrong path in life for 8 years straight, and kept coming back more full with, you know, nasty grape juice. More and more, you know, what's the word? Expired. He was very expired. From day one, he was expired. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's full of a Leviathan spirit. And Leviathan spirits are full with anger. Let's see. Anger, lies, troublemaking, lust. Everything God hates is what a Leviathan spirit was. And it can be in all of us. It can be within any person. And you don't want that. You want to pray. That's why you want that relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? That's why you want to be in this day by day. Prevent you. You want to know how to become a better man. When you go through God and build that relationship with him, till you get you one of these, until you hit one of these every single day. At least 2 times a day. 3 times a day. Do as many times this as you can. But yeah, he was in the household filling it up with his Leviathan, his spirit. And a lot of anger was in it. And a lot of trauma was built up because of that. And I was already going through my freaking trauma. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick. But, you know, my mom, she's a loving mom. So she didn't let that, you know, prevent her from finding out what was wrong with me. And I remember she taking me to hospitals and, You know, as soon as she got out, she making sure the bills get paid. And she like, boom, okay. Uber Eats, I don't know how she got a car. I don't remember that part, but I look up, we back in the car. So I think was doing Uber too a little bit, but she used to do Uber Eats and stuff like that. And, ended up working at some type of center. I forgot. Like where she built the stadium, like the Atlanta Hawks stadium for a minute, and like built the ground, took it apart, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and things like that. And the arena, her and him did it. So, he did stack money when it had to be stacked, but he wasn't good with maintaining it. He was one of them slot machine, people as well. And, addict and a little bit of everything. Just a bad, the grape juice was bad. It was rotten. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't talk bad on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk bad on people over here, buddy. We don't do that. We just keep that down. And, yeah, that's truly the case. I was dealing with that for 8 years within them two together. That's something I can't really talk about because it's in the past. So, respect that, please, and thank you. And, yeah, like, I just remember a lot of things like that. And it was to the point where, yeah, she took me to this one place. And it's just something that makes me laugh a lot because they tested me to see if I was allergic to milk. And they put these suction cups on my back. And I always did want suction cups on my back because I seen it in movies. And I thought it felt good. And I thought it was going to make me feel better. But I remember just sitting in the hospital. I don't think it was a hospital, like one of the mini, like I don't know what to call it. But the lady just put these suction cups on my back and tested me for, see if my skin outlet mold contaminate me or if I'm allergic to any foods. Because my mom, I don't know what headspace she was in to tell them that I eat a lot of cereal when I wasn't eating at all. Like, it was hard for me to eat. So I was like, why would she tell them that I'm allergic to, like, I eat a lot of cereal? What does that have to do with the fact that I'm sick? And they ended up testing me to see if it was milk that made me feel the way that I feel within having nerve damage in my hands and nerve pain in my feet and then my head hurting. And I find out they're going to tell me, oh, he's allergic to milk. His skin is at least. I'm like, it was to a point, y'all, I really wasn't eating cereal for, even when I got out the hospital, it took a while for me to start back eating cereal. I'm like, bro, like, do they not realize, bro, my whole life, I've dipped my chin in cereal when I drink it. It gets on my chin. It touches my skin. I've dipped my finger in some cereal before. And that sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hit my skin before. They tested it on my back. And I had a little minor reaction to it. And even drinking Faucet water, because I used to be so dehydrated, they wanted to make sure there wasn't no lead, within my throat that caused it. That caused what actually was the problem. But they didn't know the problem. It took them a long time. It took them took them a year to find out what was really wrong with me because I was in and out the hospital consistently, like weekly. But yeah, man, it was like, it was crazy. It was a little crazy stuff going on. It was very wild. And I just remember end up in Grady one day. And yeah, like I remember before I get to the Grady part, dang, I'm getting a little sickness, y'all, my bad. But another one, I'm a tax boy. But it was to the point where within the household wise, I used to have to rotate out of my mom's house, to my grandpa's house because of the stuff going on within there. Like the male, the family drama stuff, it wasn't for me. I couldn't, it was hard for me to handle, but I put up with it for so long. So I handled it as much as possible by God's strength. I was able to handle it and, survive, of course. And that grape juice he brought a lot of, like I said, a lot of confusion and pain into the household. It was very toxic. And to the point where I was at my grandpa's house and like I said, I was telling y'all in the last video, he used to cook a lot. So being there, him and my uncle used to think like, not nothing too much wrong with me. My uncle didn't think of like too much it was wrong with me. Like he used to tell me to put on socks and put on shoes and tell me to do this and that, all this type of work. And I'm like, man, I just can't, bro. Like I remember I used to walk down the stairs and I used to go like one step at a time, like, and like hold the railing because I was so weak and my feet used to be in so much pain, and I used to be scared of falling all the time. I thought I was so fragile, so I used to be scared of just falling and not getting back up. Like if I fall, I think I'm gonna die. Like I remember that. Like they had little no stairs to their porch to get in their house, to get out of their house. I used to remember walking up it. I used to literally be like a old man in his 80s who didn't eat well and probably got like knee pains and stuff. I had knee pains. Every joint in my body hurt. But my feet, it's like the feet and the hand part was the worst. But I remember having like get on the stairs, one hand like this on the railing and like one leg. Let me show you. Like I used to be like this, y'all. Like one leg, like that every time, and it was just like, yeah, like I was going through that. I'm like, man, this ain't it. He used to try to force me to go to movies. I remember he forced me to go see not Central Intelligence, but some movie, and he like, man, where's shoes? Where's some shoes? I said, bro, what are you talking about, man? I'm like, nah, I can't do that. He's like, why you always in these Crocs? Wear some shoes and socks. I'm like, bro, you telling me I got to wear socks? Bro, I'm like, bro, you don't understand, bro. My feet sweat. My feet be sweating. I told him this. He thinking like, but that's normal, bro. He ain't saying it like that, but he not peeping like, he ain't really understood. He didn't understand the pain I was really going through. I ain't gonna say thought I was faking, but he just didn't understand physically, like where I was coming from within my body being in so much pain. He meant well though. He just didn't understand. Like he used to try to take me out and he thought that was the issue. He thought I needed to work out and go back outside and do things. I was like, man, I'm not capable of doing it no more. Not right now, at least. I'm just not capable. And even my grandpa, he didn't really know what was going on. He was clueless. He used to just take me to my appointments. And that's really it. Like I used to have repeated appointments weekly. And then that's when, 1 week they tell me like, oh, like my mom took me to this one appointment and she was like, man, like he just needs to go to the hospital. Like he's losing too much weight. I was probably like 110 at this point. And I was just jumping between like 110, 130, 100 to 130. Like I was in that range of 100 and 130. So I'm going back and forth within my weight. I wasn't gaining really no more than 130, 120, and 115, and 110, and 100. And it was even to the point where I was like 98, 99 pounds. And that's when the hospital started realizing, like, okay, this brother's sick. And I'm like, yeah, you don't say, huh? I just told y'all the scales. Y'all ask me all these questions every time, the same repetitive questions. And that drove me crazy to just keep getting asked the same questions every single time I go to every hospital, every appointment. What's the pain? Rate your scale, the pain, rate your pain on a scale of 1 through 10. Lady, you think I'm just gonna come here? I'm a male. I don't have nothing to do with it, but I'm not weak. You know what I'm saying? If it was something minor, I wouldn't even be here. If it wasn't a 10 or beyond a 10, I would not be here. But I know they was just trying to do their job though. But then I was just like, man, they don't understand. But I'm tired of hearing that. I'm like, but it's all a 10. I'm like, it's a 10 and above. Unexplainable. I can't even explain it. Like, how does it feel in your hands? How does it feel in your feet? I'm I'm like, bro, it's unexplainable. It's like, it was all in my nerves, y'all. Like, kid you not, it was all in my nerves. All of this was like, it was really all like this. It was just like I don't know. It's like somebody stabbing my whole body every second of the day. It's like something punching my head every day. I remember I even got addicted to popping my ears continually because I thought something was in it. Sometimes I even catch myself doing it now, but I was popping my ears a lot, like popping my eardrums. Like, I'm doing now, but I don't know if y'all can tell. Like, I don't know if y'all can do that or ever done it, but I just like pop them a little bit. It's like little pops right here. Because I thought it was something in my ear, though, like a bug or something crawled in. Like, I used to think that a lot. Like, I had severe anxiety, like top tier. Like, I genuinely used to think the worst case scenario for everything. Like, man, like I said, I used to think a spider or something had to come in my ear and just lay eggs. Like, I always thought that every day. Like, I literally used to think a bug laid eggs in my head, and that's why I'm going through what I'm going through. I'm like, bro, how did I let a bug do this to me? But yeah, like a year in now, and that's what I was going through. Like, I'm just back and forth in the hospital, just getting these questions asked, and then one day at Grady, my mom just put her foot down, and she told him, like, man, he can't keep going through this, but I can't let my son just go through this. And I was like, and it's like me now, I'm not in school no more. Like, I believe it's summertime. I'm supposed to be in summer school so I can make my grade back up. And I remember they invited me to the 8th grade dance. And I was like, the 8th grade prom at least. And I'm like, bro, one, I'm not wearing clothes. So that's one thing. Like, I'm not wearing clothes. Like, I'm just telling my mom this. I looked at her crazy, like, but why would you ask me that? I was getting very sensitive a lot too. I realized how sensitive I was getting at that time of me just getting sick. I was getting more and more sensitive. Like, I used to just cry so much or be upset. Yeah, we were never really angry, but I used to be upset and just crying all the time about anything. I was like, bro, what type of question is that? But why would I sit here and go to a freaking 8th grade prom, excuse me, and I haven't been in school, one, for the whole semester, the whole second semester. I didn't even touch the school grounds. So why would I want to go to school? Two, do you not see me? I look like a freaking pixie stick. I don't have muscle. I used to be very big on okay, I was never confident in myself. I'll admit to that. But I wasn't really confident. That's when I lost all my confidence. I said no. Bro. I was so mad at her for asking me that. Like, I remember that. Like, I was like, but why would you ask me that, dude? Like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry if I'm whispering. This people smile, people sleep. I record very early, y'all, but yeah, like, I was like, nah, man, just no, bro. That's all I keep saying, cause it truly like had me so heated. But I was like, no, like, just nah, bro. Like, and my teacher, she was trying to encourage my mom to have me go. I was like, bro, you expect me to show up to school in a wheelchair, in some type of suit, trying to put on a happy face still. I look worse than I did the last time everybody seen me. This is when I realized, I'm like 110 pounds. I can't even fit my clothes. And I'm looking at the situation we in within the family. I said, bro, who even has money to buy any of this stuff? Because she's told me, oh, I'm going to make a way. I'm sure you know your parents are going to hustle. They're going to do what they got to do. But I'm like, well, I'm not finna put you through that. I'm still upset with you too, but I wouldn't even have you lose cheese over prom. I don't care to be seen by none of them. If anything concerned them, they would be the ones taking me to these hospitals. If they wanted to see me that bad, the teacher was like, oh, like, students missing quiz and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, really, huh? Well, tell them to come check up on me. If it's that deep. I don't care about none of that. I'm not going to school to be embarrassed. Because I knew bro, you know how kids is, but somebody was gonna try to clown me for being skinny. Even if they didn't, I don't know the case of the matter because it didn't happen, but I refused to go to school in a wheelchair, not to be seen. And yes, I actually cared. That's what it came with the anxiety, but the anxiety was on me bad. Like, it made me think about just the worst case scenario for everything. Like, people laughing at me, people clowning me for being in a wheelchair, my partner's still playing around too roughly, or they make jokes that's gonna make me cry in front of everybody. Like, and I was gonna cry if the wrong thing was said to me, I was gonna cry. Like, I know that for a fact. Like, I might have just cried just because. Like, honestly, if somebody touched me, I was gonna cry. Like, literally, I was in pain, so I was fragile. But yeah, like, I remember going to Grady, like I was saying, my bad, but she put her foot down then and told them, like, he's not leaving. He's not leaving. And I ended up on a stretcher on my way to Eggleston. That's when things got very peachy, more difficult, but very peachy, because it was more and more tests that had to be done and ran, which was a key point to where I met now. Like, repetitive, like I said with the questions, it was repetitive. That's when I really start, sitting more and more in the hospital and away from people my age. I had one partner named Greg. He checked on me. He came to my house. I told the man, don't come. I said, do not come. I literally told this man, do not come. But he came either way. But he was a W man, but God bless him. But yeah. But anyways, I ended up in Eggleston. And yeah, that's when really stuff started brightening up. But it was all still, like I said, a lot of tests that was ran, and I remember like just being uncomfortable so much. I used to have to go in and out, back and forth from Eggleston and home, and Eggleston was far from my house, so yeah, my mom ended up with a car. That's when I remember she definitely had a car, and she had and my brother, we was getting older too. Like, my family ended up, my brothers and my siblings ended up back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all just end up back home and stuff. And it was cool. My sister was back. She used to go jumping back and forth, doing what she had to do. And yeah, it was getting G's at least. I was like, health wise, I was still terrible, but household wise, it was alright. Yeah, and I just remember being in Eggleston, like probably sometimes a week. Sometimes I used to leave. Sometimes a couple of days they'd keep me, or one day. And they used to do these tests over tilt table tests. And they used to have me on this hard bed, hard like metal thing. And I'm telling you, like, I'm like probably 105. And I was like, bro, like they asked me to do this stuff and be still. And I used to tell them, like, man, I need a pillow for my wheelchair. Every time I went there, I needed a wheelchair. I'm shocked I didn't have one at home. I guess I was my mom didn't think I needed one, but I just didn't have one at home, or I used to have a walker. I had a walker. I had a walker every time I go to the hospital. That or a wheelchair. When I got put in the hospital, I had a walker too, and I had a wheelchair. But when I was outside, I didn't have none. I used to just barely do stuff. But yeah, like I was going back and forth, and I was on this tilt table test like so many times I done it. And they used to just scan my body and look at it, take pictures of my throat. And they did that several times, and they ended up finding a little thing that was in it. It was what's the word? That's when they realized I had some type of a tumor in my throat. I was like, I said, I ain't say but I'm like, man, what? Tumor? I'm like, don't tell me I eat too much cereal. That's how I was thinking a little bit, or I was like, it probably is from sink water. I'm like, I ain't drinking that no more. I haven't drunk sink water since, but I was like, it probably is because of sink water. It wasn't because of it, but I thought, at least. It was many things I thought that could be the case, but at the same time, again, I wasn't knowing. Heck, I thought a fairy put it in my throat when I was sleeping or something at that point in life. And yeah, like I'm just dealing with like, man, this is crazy. And it's about like 4 or 5 two-table tests within the summer. You know what I'm saying? That plus, and I wasn't going to school, summer school. I said forget about that. And yeah, they did CAT scans and MRIs, all this type of stuff. And it took them, like I said, it took them a long time to really find out. A lot of tests to find out what was wrong. A lot of blood drawn. They took a lot of my blood. So now I look at it, I'm like, I'm in the system. They can find me anywhere I go. I feel like they inserted a chip, a chip into my arm. Possibly. They know where I'm at 24/7. I might be a part of the government. I might be the CIA himself. You never know, so watch your back. But on a serious note, back to it. This tilt table test was very painful because the table was metal and cold. I'm skinny and fragile. It didn't mix. That's not bad. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing with my hands. But it didn't fit. You know what I'm saying? It hurted. My spine, I still deal with that a little bit. Like my tailbone used to just be on that metal, and it used to be terrible. I did not like it. I can't stand the feeling. If I was to eat on it now, I still wouldn't like it because it's cold and it's metal. And I still have a tailbone, so I probably still would feel I just got more meat on my body. And I got a nice shaped bosom when it comes to meat. That sounds bad, but it's true. But yeah, like I just couldn't deal. I ain't have no butt then, so my tailbone used to just go straight to the tailbone itself instead of hitting meat. It's going straight to my bone, and I used to hurt. And yeah, man, it should be terrible. And then this is all going to my 9th grade year now. It's starting to get to on the way to high school as they find this information out. It's in the summertime, so I'm like, okay, bro, like, so what we finna do about this? Well, it's in the middle of summer, but like, my 9th grade year, that's when they found out what was wrong, and that's when they was like, okay, he has a tumor in his throat, and it got so big because it took them so long to find out. They was having conversations. And I'm like, man, ain't no way y'all might tell. I was like, look, I ain't trying to die. Y'all just do what y'all got to do. I ain't even think twice. I'm like, bro, just do the surgery, bro. Like, just do the surgery. And then, yeah, like, it took a lot of time. But then they got straight to it at the same time. It was kind of fast, but it took a long time because of how much I was dealing with it. And then that's when I was just in the hospital, like, continuously. Like, I did not leave the hospital. I spent another year in there, like, my whole birthday. My birthday, I celebrated in the hospital and all. But that's for the rest of the next video. But yeah, that's when they found out the tumor, man. And I pray that y'all have a blessed day. I pray that y'all enjoyed the video. And I know this was a little bit of everything, but this, was getting bright. It was getting bright spots. As soon as they found out the tumor, that's when they got better. And they finally had to figure out what type of, situation I was in. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, may God be your way. Y'all stay blessed, stay prayed up, and don't let nobody tell you can't do something. Because with God, anything is possible. You dig what I'm saying? With God, anything is possible.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Let God be your way, and have a blessed day.